Get off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, CNBC, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Streaker, Spreaker, and more. Why so many places? Well, I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words. No Kardashian talk. In fact, there's no H words either. Headlines. Why? Because if you're listening to the headlines, you are definitely getting a case of the 4 A's: angry, anxious, afraid, and aggravated. I don't want you to start your day like that. In fact, I don't want most of your day to be like that. Instead, I would like you to have a case of the amazing. And that way you can have the best day ever. And so this is what we do here on the show. And let's see, we're going to start with the gratitude sandwich as I try to locate my 4-time returning guest. It's going to be a great day with Dr. John Gray. And let's see, you know the drill, taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. I'm going to take these little, if you're hearing any clicking, let's see. Taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich is top of the bun, things that we're grateful for that are outside of ourselves. Bottom of the bun, things that we're grateful for inside of our lives or inside of ourselves. Abraham Hicks calls it appreciation, what you like about yourself. And we do that at night. But in the morning, we look around outside of ourselves. What am I grateful for? I am grateful for my wall of awards that I've been blessed and honored with. I think we have 19 awards now so far. Certainly the most important award is myself and cutting myself some slack and a break and saying that I'm a good mom, I'm a good host and producer and mult-hyphenate. I'm going to the bottom of the bun already, but those things that I do like about myself. I am grateful for beverages in the morning. That first sip of coffee is just amazing, and I absolutely love that. And I am grateful that when I look out my window, I see the beauty of the ocean of abundance. It doesn't get old. I am grateful that I have great doctors to take care of my body that doesn't know that I'm hashtag ageless. So, we're up for a replacement of the first hip replacement because they only last 10 to 15 years, and I'm a year 14, and my shoulder has decided to go remind me that I've used it a lot, and then the blood clots. And I am living testament to you can have physical ailments and still be happy because it's all about choice. And if you missed that show yesterday, that was a great show, if I do say so myself, for Mental Health Matters Mondays, where I focused on the ch word, which is choice. And choice is your most important tool that you have in your life because choice offers you the opportunity to be happy 88% of the time or more. And we have in studio, we have a little echo though. So Dr. John Gray, if you could turn your volume or your phone down, that would be great as I find your introduction here. I'm so excited to have him back for the fourth time on my show with a new book just for women. Perfect timing for Women's History Month. I'm so blessed to have John Gray both as my friend and dating coach, although I may be a very poor advertisement, but only because I don't follow his advice. But I do give it to you, just following the title of my show, which is Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. John Gray is the author of one of the most well-known and trusted relationship books of all time. Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. US Today listed his book as one of the top 10 most influential books in the last quarter century. It was the #1 best-selling book of the decade. Dr. John Gray's books have been translated into approximately 45 languages in more than 100 countries and continue to be bestsellers. He's written over 20 books, the most recent of which is Men Are From Mars, For Women Only. Be happy with or without a man. Please welcome back to my studio, Dr. John Gray. Good morning.
And good morning to you. You hear me all right?
I hear you fabulously with no echo. I'm so grateful. If you could pull the camera back just a bit so that your head doesn't get lost. There, perfect. Don't go more. Perfect. So glad to have you back. And happy St. Patrick's Day. This is my green, and then I have glasses that are green. I know you thought I was Swedish. I'm actually Irish. No, I'm kidding. But I'm so glad. I think the new title of your book is probably reflective of me. For all your clients who just cannot seem to get it together. I was hoping that I'd have a relationship by the time that you got on the show. I've had 2 1-week relationships. But they didn't time very well with the fact that you're here on with me. But you'll remember I start every show with breakfast, taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. I already started, so I'll let you finish off breakfast. Dr. John Gray, what are you grateful for that is outside of yourself? So we'll start with what's outside, and we'll go to the inside in a second.
Well, it's a little bit outside, but for my 3-year-old granddaughter, I just think she's precious, and I get to spend 4 hours 3 times a week. So I'm the babysitter, and I love it.
Oh, that's awesome. What's her name?
Elodie.
Oh, that's beautiful. Like melody.
Yeah, like melody.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's go to the bottom of the bun, which is weight training for what I believe is the foundation of good mental health is self-care, self-love, self-soothing, knowing who you are. That I will say that I'm 88% fabulous. And then 12% of the time I step in it. And I will say I like that I am I am okay to apologize. I still don't love it, but I'm quicker to not sit with those feelings, and I can recognize when I have stepped in it, and I will make the apology as sincerely as possible. What do you like about yourself, Dr. Gray?
Well, first, I want you to know that any man will love that about you. That is such a beautiful quality. Maybe I'm being self-serving because it's probably one of the easiest things for me is to apologize as well. I like, it's just so easy. And somebody can be upset with me and immediately I'm like, okay, I'm so sorry. It was as simple as that. And, Marissa, it's not that I don't ever get mad or something. I rarely do. But the other day I cut somebody off in traffic. Evidently they didn't like it. It was a big guy in a big white truck. And he was so angry. And so I just reacted, feeling all this anger inside. Now, take it 20 years ago, we would have been going down the highway. He'd try to pass me and then I'd pass him. And you get hooked into this stuff. And my experience, I just like to share it because so beautiful is I felt all this anger inside. And I went, wow, this feels so powerful. That was it. I didn't need to raise him or anything. I put my hand up. I nodded my head like, I'm so sorry. And it was, but the feeling of anger and not having to do something with it. Most people, when they become angry, they want to, do something back. And my body reacted, but my mind said, doesn't it feel good to feel anger? Because anger is just an emotional aspect of feeling confident and powerful. But when you feel you have to act on a negative emotion, that's where it controls you. And that's where your body will stay stuck in that state rather than just a simple, quick reaction.
Absolutely. I am drama, therefore I am is the opposite of that. And, and I would say your quality that certainly I've experienced is you're so aware, like you're not your anger, you're not your emotions, you're observing. And that's, I think, a huge strength that not a lot of, well, we're not taught to do that. I mean, to cut us some slack.
I'm 74 years old and I've been a practicing meditator for over 54 years, I guess, something like that, or 64. I've been meditating my whole life. Everybody has their unique superpower. Mine is self-reflection. I love analyzing every reactivity I have, every thought I have, every action I have. It's just a part of my nature, and I enjoy it very much.
Absolutely. And I am listening. I'm just going to put a promo up to remind those who are lollygagging to come on to enjoy you this morning, Dr. Gray. All right, that's it for breakfast because we have a lot to cover today. Thanks for joining us for breakfast this morning. I start this way every weekday morning because I want you to sandwich your day in the most positive way. I'm here every weekday morning for breakfast, so join me then. Topic of the day. Oh, there it is. New sound effects, Dr. Gray.
I love it. Wakes me up too.
Yeah, I have a couple of, this one's kind of funny too. All right. Anyways, the topic of the day is who you see on camera in studio live today on my YouTube TV channel. And next week on my drive time, 8 a.m. best slot in the world, #1 talk on my NBC News Radio channel, KCAA. So his name is Dr. John Gray, and he has a special book just in time for Women's History Month. And I love it. I was joking earlier. He wrote this for me because the part of it that says for women who don't, who can be happy with or without a man, I'm definitely a product of, I don't know if it's stubbornness, but obviously I haven't been able to translate some of your tips into an actual relationship. So I want you to talk about the book, and then I'm going to, of course, because it's my show, give you what I've been going through. And maybe you can help me today a little more so that the next time you come, I will have a relationship. So tell me about the book.
Well, the subtitle, Be Happy With or Without a Man. It's at the beginning of the book. It's all about recognizing that why men are most attractive to a woman. And whether it be to be in a relationship or not to be in a relationship, a big part of femininity is to experience joy and happiness in your life. For men, it's always a question of, so many men are kind of lost today, wondering, what am I here for? And what men are here for is to help women. That's one of the things we're here to do, help others. And if we're lucky, to help a woman be happier. So it's a healthy way of looking at relationships, is to, particularly for women, is don't try to make men happy, but instead realize that what men are here for is to make you happier. Now, why can I say that? Because I've been doing this so long, and when men are ending relationships, they almost always say the same thing, and it's rarely what women say. It's one of these differences that you see quite common. And it is that men will say, I used to love her, or some men will say, I still love her, but I just can't make her happy. And in the relationship, that's the bottom line for men. It's a real key factor. And if you analyze a man, you'll see that if a man feels successful in a relationship with a woman, it tends to be when she's feeling happy because of him, or he's helping her in some meaningful way. And if he's helping her in some meaningful way, he will bond with her. And if a woman tends to try to make a man happy, she's actually sabotaging his interest in her. And that's a very important concept that most people are not aware of. Most women are not aware of, because if you don't understand differences, then you assume someone's more like you. And in many ways, we are the same, men and women. We're human beings. But there's really profound differences, which I see when you don't understand them. You don't get the full benefit out of how men and women are. If you don't understand how we're so different, you don't get the full benefit of having a relationship or being in a relationship. It's not like men walk around knowing themselves. Again, that's my superpower. But most men are out there knowing how to get from point A to point B, always outward directed. And we might say that women who are more masculine, on their masculine side, they're just thinking more how to get from point A to point B. But it's the female side of us. That's right. That's you. That's why I brought that up.
That's what? What did you say?
That's you. You're waving your hand, and I'm going, yes, that's true.
That's true. Yeah.
You're very goal oriented, and there's nothing wrong with that. We all have a masculine and a feminine side that we're most comfortable with. So when you're meeting a man or you're in a relationship with a man, a woman often is more comfortable thinking about him. What can I do for him? What's he thinking? What's he feeling? What's wrong? Wanting to get him to talk, whatever. And this is the wrong direction, as odd as that sounds. But she's going in that direction because on some deeper level, that's what she would like him to do for her. So if a man is pleasing you and doing things for you and helping you, that makes you happy. So you think, I'll do that for him, and then he'll be happy. And certainly there's some level of happiness he'll have, but he doesn't bond with you. Men bond. There's like, I want to spend more time with you. I want to be with you. I want to be devoted to you. There's a place inside of men that when they connect in the right way, they feel devotion to a woman. That's commitment. I want to be with her always. It's also sexual attraction. Those feelings goes almost simultaneously with most men. And all of this that I'm talking about, it can be understood more clearly if you just look at the biological differences. In terms of men, when men feel bonded to a woman, they will produce a lot of oxytocin, just like when women bond with men, there are other people, they will produce oxytocin. But men produce...
Is this the drug that comes out when you have sex, right?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. A lot of hormones come out when you have sex.
Right.
Since you're curious, there's a lot, and which is very, very interesting, which I bring out in this book. But for men, when they have sex, for example, when a man is attracted to a woman and it's more physical, and that's generally the foundation attraction for men to women. Not that we can't be attracted for other reasons, but this bonding happens most when his hormones are very high testosterone. His testosterone goes up really high to about 20 times more than a woman. That's a lot. Even double would be a lot, but his testosterone will go way up, along with something that doesn't happen hardly at all at other times. His estrogen levels will go up very high as well. So estrogen is the female hormone. So we have put a label on these hormones because they're so biologically different in men or women. For men, they need to make, just to be happy, 10 times more testosterone than a woman by being in her presence, by interacting with her. Like I'm doing this interview, my testosterone goes up 10 times just because I'm successful, I'm helping, I'm making a point, I'm achieving a goal. All those ingredients plus others can raise a man's testosterone just to be happy, not to be romantic, just to be happy.
Right.
Then what happens is, if that happens, to simplify it, it's being successful. For women, when they're successful, they're producing testosterone as well. But the difference between men and women is that men need that high testosterone to be happy. To be happier, that has to go even higher. Women, what they need to be happy is estrogen. If a woman doesn't have 10 times more estrogen than a man, then she's not as happy. And if in his presence, occasionally, like in a relationship, her estrogen levels can start to double and become 20 times more than a man, then suddenly you've got a very happy romantic woman. And at those times, your brain will be more optimistic. It will be more positive. You'll tend to smile more. You'll feel more gratitude, as you like to start out the morning with, that smile. And even you've got lipstick on. Okay, so this is a female thing. Lipstick actually is kind of what ancient cultures figured out, is that it gets men's attention, because happy women in the bedroom, when their estrogen levels will tend to double, their lips will become more red, and then their cheeks will become more red. So you have the rouge and you have the cheeks. You can tell when a woman's just had an orgasm by just looking at where the blood has flown. So these are all subtle messages that says a woman has, at that moment at least, has high estrogen. And that's what men are attracted to on a biological level. Because
sorry, go ahead.
Because when she's making more estrogen, it's because she feels safe. She feels, I can depend on you. She feels special. She feels someone is there for her. And this is all part of a biological cycle. And it magnifies, it's automatically for younger women, it magnifies when they're cycling. It automatically happens to some degree around 5 days before ovulation, which is when nature's designed for her to potential to have a baby, and she has to have more estrogen in her body to ovulate. So it will naturally double around that time, or it wants to double at that time. But here's the thing that men don't understand about women, is prior to those 5 days, this would be the first 5 days after your period. During that time, your testosterone level, your male side and your female side, are starting to increase, so to speak. She's more optimistic. She's more goal-oriented. She's more relaxed while doing it. And she's more balanced. Then 5 days before ovulation, her brain is subconsciously looking for what I need to make a baby, which would be a man. Or if there's no man available, then she's missing a man. So that all of a sudden changes her mood. Or she's looking for a nest. A home. A home today means money. Does she have enough money? And does she have enough time? It takes time to make a baby. So all these ingredients, and food becomes more important. so these are like biological signals to her brain. It's suddenly her brain's looking around. So to a man, being with a woman, if you don't understand her, she seems happy for those first 5 days to a great extent. And then in the next 5 days, if those ingredients are not available to her, she's not happy. Okay. So this is where, in Men Are From Mars, that famous book I wrote so many years ago. So now what I do is I help to explain a lot of those ideas that are still relevant today in terms of biology, because it makes sense.
Yeah.
And so that creates what's called the wave effect, is that women will tend to go up in their mood where they're feeling good. And from a man's point of view, suddenly, for no reason that he can figure out, the world has changed for her and her mood changes. And so she becomes a bit dramatic at that time, since you use that word. And it's just all these feelings of I'm not that fulfilled come up. And what I've taught men and what women can teach men, because this is a book for women to understand men. And in this case, it's understanding yourself in the eyes of a man. So man thinks you're crazy. Okay.
Put that moose on the table. You're not mincing any words there.
Well, he doesn't, he's not logical. We can say logical. I mean, not like clinically crazy or whatever. It's like, what is going on? One day she was happy and suddenly we never go out anymore. And you haven't paid any attention to me. And what were you feeling? And what's going on with you? You're not in a good mood. And I don't feel like you care. Nag. So all this stuff starts coming out. And it's so automatic, because here's the catch, is that for women to cope with stress, is to keep your hormones balanced. And stress hormones get produced when your testosterone and estrogen go out of balance. Then your body is making cortisol. So let me emphasize that this is a huge point. It's like the first chapter. It's all about understanding your hormonal balance for happiness.
Yeah.
Is that when your body is making cortisol, stress hormone, for a woman, it automatically happens if you're not making enough estrogen and you're making too much testosterone. So you have this balance in women, which is when they're happy, you've got a certain amount of testosterone, a certain amount of estrogen, and a range. But when you're stressed, that range changes dramatically. A woman's estrogen levels will go low, her testosterone will go high. And so a woman who's more on her masculine side is more vulnerable to making all this testosterone, which is fine for a few days after your period. But then when your body needs to be making more estrogen and not so much testosterone, then you get a bit dramatic. Then the other side of this are interact in a way that many men will feel like this doesn't make sense to me at all. And what happened to that nice, happy woman before? So I call this, women are like waves. They go up and they're feeling good, and then they'll tend to go down. And if I tell men, if you just don't try to change her at that time, it takes some time to understand her in a positive light, she'll hit bottom and then bounce back up like a wave. A wave goes down, but it always comes back up unless you interfere with the process. And so these are things I explain in the book, and I explain how women can communicate to a man these things. So that's the important thing. And,
Got it. So in essence, you want men to ride the wave.
Yes.
adding to your new model. And I was before I was chuckling because when you were saying, that period of time where you put rouge on or the red lips and things like that to, attract the man during that time. I was thinking to myself, so when I put makeup on now, is this like I'm faking it?
Well, you're fitting in with society's norms, and you're making yourself look beautiful and attractive. I have
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
I was, yeah. And
well-
then the other irony is, one of the reasons why I'm not a good example of following Dr. Gray's advice is because, my show is called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. And today I've learned that one of my issues or my challenges or my opportunities is that I am out of balance. I am whacked out with respect to the hormones. We have to take a quick station ID break. If you've just tuned in and you're wondering what's going on in studio today, he's back for his 4th visit live here on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, number one talk in the IE. Thank you very much. Streaming everywhere, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course my YouTube TV channel, which if you free subscribe and give me the finger, this one, not the other one, you will get an alert every weekday morning to tune in to the show about hope and happiness with no headlines, so you don't wake up with a case of the 4 A's: angry, anxious, aggravated, and annoyed. Dr. John Gray, y'all know him. You remember him. He's done so much more than Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. However, it still stands as one of those books, even the young'uns, when I say, oh, do you remember the book? And they'll say, yeah, I've heard of that. And guess who texted me and asked where he could listen to us is Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. So he says hello. I don't know if he's listening right now, but he did text me and asked where he could tune in, which is kind of cool. He doesn't always do that when I tell him who's on the show with me. So I just wanted to interrupt you for a second and tell you that.
Oh, hi, Michael. Good to talk to you. Good to think about you. You're a star.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so to recap, it is biology that sort of guides us to what we're doing. And that's one of the answers to a question that I get asked a lot when I have you on is like, well, all that was good with the cave and the man and the woman in the past. But, we've come a long way, especially feminists don't really like hearing some of the things you have to say because you do say, here's the differences between men and women And then there's the ones that want us all to be the same. And then there's the ones that say we don't even have gender specification, especially now these days. So, Dr. John Gray, how do you bridge all of those things to today's, what we're in the middle of, between polyamorism, between by the bisexual, binary, non-binary. Speak to that for a minute.
Well, we all have experiences where we're upset and we don't feel like we can control it. And maybe a lot of men, for example, will experience procrastination. Why can't I get things done? And women will have the experience of, I'm feeling so overwhelmed, I just can't relax. Some of us will have feelings like, I'm so judgmental, I find myself just being so critical. And a lot of women are that way when they're dating men. It's hard to be humble. You just see everything that's wrong with him. These are all psychological states that are controlled by your emotions. Now, your mindset, you'll have on a lot of people who are authors, friends of mine, as well as myself, who talk about mindset, which can control your hormones, and then your hormones then can control your mindset if you're not using your mindset. And I add another dimension to it, which is it's your relationships. And nobody talks yet about how important, how you relate to other people, how you relate to yourself. Mindset actually is a lot more about how you're relating to yourself and your thinking and your actions. But what's missing for most people today is the importance of relating with other people. I remember talking with one healer, and she was saying, you can, or I'd be talking to a holistic doctor who can do miracles with helping people get better. But if you take their medicine or their healing or their support, but you sit in a dark room all day, and you're not going to heal. You need sunshine, you need to get out there, but also you need to have a community of friends. You need to have love in your life. And all these things stimulate stress-reducing hormones. And that's what I'm all about, is having identified for men and women, those stress-reducing hormones are the opposite. That's the whole thing here. So if you don't recognize your partner is different from you, it's hard to be as helpful to them. And we started out with this first chapter of the book, Be Happy With or Without a Man, is you help a man be happy. A woman wants a man to be happy. Women by nature, by temperament, tend to be, according to studies, more people-pleasing. That's because they're wanting someone on a subconscious level. We give what we want to receive. And it's kind of confusing because we know that you feel so good when you're giving, but then ironically, you feel stressed out when you give too much. So the reason there is balance. When you receive, I'm talking about women now, if you receive, then it's like you fill up your bank account, your love bank account. Then you can freely give without feeling resentful, without feeling drained or whatever. It's like you're writing a check from a bank account that has a lot of money in it. And there's many ways to fill up your bank account. And relationships with men is a very powerful way for most women to fill up their bank account. But even one of the reasons there's problems in marriage and so forth is because a woman will be with a man and she has this sort of empty bank account and he's giving her attention and affection and it fills her up. But a man's love and support can't fill you up completely. It can make you happier, but it doesn't provide the basics to become happier. Happier is romantic relationship. Before you can have romantic relationship, you have to be loving yourself, and you have to, and that's a cliche, I get it, but I at least provide something new in this book on the hormonal foundation of loving yourself. And a big part of that is before you can really love yourself, know yourself in a positive light, forgive yourself, be good with yourself, and know and be motivated to do what's good for you. I think that's a key factor of loving yourself. But prior to that level of happiness inside is balancing your time with other women. See, today, because women are on their male side and other women on their male side, they have no time to do things that women used to do together with other women. And it takes a lot of time to fulfill that, I call it a love tank or that bank account. It's your savings account, as we call that. And I just think back to when I first had this insight many years ago on a vacation with Bonnie, my wife, and we were in Bali, and we were looking. I was just in my hotel room, and I'm looking out the window, and there's a river down the hill, and there's 40 women all going down to do the laundry. So they're carrying their bags, they're talking, they're sharing, they're interacting, they're spending all this time. Nobody is stressed. They're talking and they're all animated, but there's harmony there. There's aliveness there. And then the kids are all running around. Nobody's stressed out, like I don't have enough time. They have plenty of time.
Mm-hmm.
And, this is a short show. And when I talk to women, one of the most important things, how do you come back to your female side? Two things. One is spend more time with other women. Don't look to men for everything. That's ridiculous. And the other one is give yourself plenty of time. If you can just start creating extra time in your life to do things you like to do. It's very, very important. It's a very common experience for women today to overextend themselves with too much to do and not enough time. Too much to do and not enough time. And you have to put the brakes on that. And unfortunately, if you don't spend enough time with women doing things that don't require decisiveness, you'll tend to go to your male side. Routine activities, particularly with the help and support of other women, will produce more oxytocin so that will lower your stress. And then you come with a man, and at a certain time of the month, particularly, as I'm talking about, different times your hormones need an extra bump. And that's what a man can provide, is a kind of attention that causes him to lose himself. So we have this ability. If I look at myself as a man, a spiritual man, I was a monk, I practice meditation, it's a value that I have. It's selflessness. This is the highest quality of masculinity, is selflessness. And it's a woman that can bring a man to that level by allowing him to do things for her. And that's the foundation of romance, is a woman allowing a man to do things for her and to ask for help, to share with a man what's going on inside of her in a way that is asking for help. So I give a lot of techniques in this book about how to ask for help, how to pull a man out of himself into you. And just think about romance. It's a man going into you. He's going into your world. So for a man to go into your world, women have to learn how to be open for how to invite, how to bring that forth and at the right time and in the right place, which is most appropriate. So it's the relationships with yourself, with your friends, with time. Time is a very important relationship.
Okay.
I know that. Go ahead. I covered a few points.
So I just love it. He comes on and I'm reminded of all the ways in which I'm a failure in this whole topic. However, is it possible, Dr. Gray, that I have filled, I have great girlfriends. We do stuff I love to do. I got those blood clots, so I can't fly anymore. So I'm really into the mahjong now, which is, unfortunately, I see the masculine part of winning and all of the strategy. I get that. But what is it possible that I filled myself? My bank account is so full, but it's full of me and there's no room to there's no deficit. So I'm not open I swear there are 5 guys right now who want to have a conversation with me. And I said, well, first, my bonus dad's in the hospital, had a stroke, and then now Oscar season. So I'm going to after. So I'm waiting for me to take a breath to go to the apps with all the messages that I have to call back. So I don't have the time because that doesn't excite me in the order of the things that I want to do. Like tonight, I'm getting together with my girlfriend. We're going to watch The Pit. I'm so excited, right? That is going to take precedence than going to the app and following up on those calls.
It's fear. Marissa, you're just afraid of being hurt and rejected again. So your mind becomes very busy. Your life is very, very busy. What happens is the fear inside of women keeps them from opening themselves up to a man and valuing that part of them if they're heterosexual. And like for a man, what holds him back is we see this today with all the young men. They all procrastinate. They put things off. They get lost in their distractions. It's all about fear of failure. It's just the fear of failure. And I do have a remedy, something to help with that, which is another aspect of your love banks, so to speak. It's another checking account you've got. And that's loving yourself. And you're doing great stuff. You've got it all going. You're with other women. That's safe. And you're got your show and you look beautiful and you dress up and you look pretty. All these good things are going on in your life. And you did say to me that sometimes that you're dramatic inside. We'll put it that way, emotional. And so I have something you'll love, which is, it's called the Mars Venus Heart Space app. Mars Venus Heart Space app. Okay. And it uses AI, but it follows an algorithm of what I tell it to do. It took about 40 years to develop this thing. Cool. I tried back in the 90s, but it didn't have enough computing power. But now it's so easy with AI. And it asks you 5 questions that tends to pull from different parts of you. And then it processes your emotions. It allows you to look more deeply inside to find and consciously feel those fears, where they come from, the insecurities, helps identify the wishes and needs. It's just like taking a deep breath and then relaxing. You know, if you're rushing along in life, you're just focused outward, and it lets you go inside and it does it for you. I developed over the years a unique style of doing therapy with clients where I listen to women. It's mostly women that come in, and they will talk for a while about their what's going on in their life, and that feels good because talking produces the estrogen, it produces oxytocin, helps to lower their stress. But you can do it much more efficiently and much more deeper. If you talk while you're talking, you also identify the emotions behind the thoughts. And so I'll listen to a woman talk for 20 minutes or so. And then after that, there's my website there. That's nice. And then I'll help her. I'll just tell her, this is what you're feeling in your subconscious mind right now. And they think I'm like a wizard and I know everything they're feeling and thinking.
You've been spying on me. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And what I'll do is I'm just using pure logic to understand, if you have this going on, then I know that's going to be causing frustration. If you have this going on and you're frustrated, this is what you're wanting. If you're this going on, you have this disappointment, you're feeling sad about this. And then with that logical analysis, because we have emotions, it's just one part of us. There's always logic on the other side of it. And when you can understand the logic of it, when your brain hears the logic of it, wow, you brought it up there. Yeah, that's the app there. You can download the Heart Space app.
See, this is the testosterone working right now.
Oh, you're a superwoman. That's right. I get it.
Oh, my big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith, is on the other side laughing and going, yes, listen to him. He says the same thing to me every time. He'll put his hand on my heart and it's like he's trying to draw out the feminine part. Anyways,
right. I can understand that. Michael's good at that. It's to be able to have that self-awareness of the different depth of what the feelings are. It's not such it's not as a joyful thing when at the first part of this process, as you go into what it knows the emotions. And the key is that when people who can feel emotions, like in the beginning, I gave an example of me feeling anger, just feeling it, not feeling that need to act on it, but just let it go and feel the power that comes from it. When I feel sadness, sometimes I'll feel very sad because my wife Bonnie died 7 years ago and I still miss her at times, and tears will come up in my eyes. But it's sweet. You see, emotions are your soul. It's the soulful part of you. They just get distorted when we're not in touch with what's the deeper ones. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when people are almost always, if somebody is angry and wants to do something about it, it's fear. Okay, the deeper part of fear. You can't get angry and want to, express it at somebody unless you're also afraid. And many times when you're feeling sad, it's because you love your partner and are not there. And so you just go, I feel so sad. But you ask yourself, why do I feel sad? Because I miss my partner. Why do I miss my partner? Because I love my partner. And now you're feeling love. Okay, the love is behind everything. And so when you can just feel that love heals. And so this little process takes 20 minutes. And I do it all the time, even though it's better if you write it out, but you can learn how to do the process by having the computer, your little phone. It will immediately just write out a letter expressing everything you feel, and then it will write out a letter of what you need to hear, and then it will write out a letter of what wisdom and learning you gain from it, and then it will write out a letter of analysis of your feelings, another way of interpreting your life, and then it will write. This is where AI comes in. It will write a poem for you based upon the stress you're going through that day, and the women really like the poem, so like a rhyming poem. So.
That's great. Yeah. Okay. So I'll get personal here for a second, as I usually do. I live my life out loud. Those two relationships, what should I have done differently? If I meet a man, we go out for 3 dates. The 2 dates are evening dinners, and I was getting butterflies, and it was great, and some kisses. And the third date was supposed to be the due date, and I just lost that feeling. I got the ick because I saw him, and this is horrible to say. It's so superficial, and I'm embarrassed, but I don't think it had to do with me being afraid of getting hurt, because I was just not attracted to his body. Like I went from feeling
You
the
went to
butterflies
you became judgmental and critical.
Okay.
That's what judgmental and critical is, and
Okay.
that's always based on fear. And it's
and
it's also
second one, see if it's the same thing, so you don't have to say it twice.
All right.
The second one was great, da 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 da. Third date, he said, not taking any more calls from bill collectors. And I'm like, what? So I thought he was kidding, but he wasn't. And I'm like, look, I spent $2.8 million getting a divorce, so I don't want to do that again. Is that being judgmental because his financial situation is not what I wanted?
Well, it's judgmental, but that one could be based on wisdom.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So 1 for 2, not bad.
Well, if he was the right guy for you, he could be okay. If he's lost a lot of money, it means he has great potential to make money again. So, and it's not always just about the money, but if that's a priority, that's a priority. Let me give an example here of men, and then I'll come back to women. Some men are depressed not because they're not processing their feelings or whatever. That's a part of our life, is our stress is we have negative emotions or we're holding them in or whatever. It could just be you're not doing what's right for you. You'll be depressed if you're in a job. It's just not what your soul wants you to be doing. And for you, it became very clear. You have this idea, 1 date, 2 date, 3 date, you're supposed to have sex. No. See, your brain immediately went into, that would be wrong for me. That then generates fear. That then creates the judgments that allow you to go, I don't want to have sex. Well, maybe why not say to yourself, it's a 10. You're not going to have sex until the 10th date. That will make you feel safer. It's a big deal. I've had many women say to me, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to get naked with another man. I mean, it's vulnerability. Men have to earn the right for you to be that vulnerable in their presence. And in both those cases, they didn't earn the right for you to feel vulnerable. In one case, he started telling you how he's broke. And I really don't think you should ever be in a serious relationship if you're a woman with a man who can't take care of himself financially and also help you. Like, he has to feel, I mean, he literally has to be in a situation with you where he feels he can help you. And from your side, you need to feel he can help me. And that's why you rushed into both those situations too soon. And again, that pressure to have sex. And I just did, I also do a YouTube
been a while, show. So.
Well, women can be celibate. There's nothing wrong with that. I was celibate as a man. It's harder for men. If you want to think of it as hard, to me, it became easy. I get it. For 9 years in my 20s, I was a celibate monk. I was so happy. Oh my God. It was filling up into my spiritual bank account. It was fantastic. We have this whole obsession with sex and addiction to sex, addiction to porn. Very sad situation. If I was a political person, and I'm not, my whole goal would be to make pornography illegal, period. Illegal. It's hijacking the brains and the life force and the spirit of our children, of young men and now women. That whole pressure for women to have sex on the 3rd date, otherwise you're a prude. This is all life destroying. It was appropriate for you to be judgmental and critical and shut down, because you he hadn't yet provided a safety for you to open up and truly feel vulnerable. And if you had sex not feeling vulnerable, at least you, Dr. Marissa, had the wisdom to go, I'm not going to do that. Some women will feel like, oh, he's taking me out on some dates.
Right,
I'm obligated in some way.
Mm-hmm.
A nice thought when you understand men is to realize you never have any obligation to a man, because when a man does something for you, he does something for you. By enjoying what he has provided for you, you have just, in a sense, repaid him. Because women have this whole sense, and it's a beautiful quality of femininity, is reciprocity. Is that if he does something for me, I want to do something for him.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what gets women in trouble, because they assume men are the same. We don't look at the world through the same lens. If you do something for me, I assume I've already earned it. So the reciprocity is complete.
That's wild. We just talked about this on a pre-record with Doctors in the House about reciprocity just yesterday. So this is like, wow. But someone just said and messaged me, where do we find men like Dr. Gray? Because they don't exist anymore. And I get what she's saying, because you're saying that it's men's job to please women, not the other way around. Number one, I don't know any man that thinks that except you. And the men you work with. Number two, that men have to work to give to a woman so she feels safe enough to be vulnerable. Where are those men? That's number two.
Well, those are almost all men. There are psychopaths and sociopaths. They do exist, but that's like 1 or 2% of men. They're all like me. They just don't know what I know. And they don't need to know what I know, which is why this book is for women only. You can give him the experience that will change his life. It's only through my experiences that I change. And you say, where are these men? I could also say, where the men are going, where are the women? Okay, when I talk about my wife, where are these women? And, I after Bonnie died, I'm now remarried. And my wife goes, after 3 years, she says, I'm a totally different person. I'm so loving. I'm so happy. I'm so fulfilled. You've changed my life. All the time she says, I'm a better person because of you. Mm-hmm. Of course, I love that. But
I met her and tell her I said hello.
Okay, I will. And I have provided a kind of support for her to make her feel safe, to be vulnerable. And in that vulnerability, she's found a new part of herself. Even her son, maybe this is too much information, so I won't go there. So okay. I have to be respectful.
I get it. But she's
but her family, her family has changed dramatically. Her relationship with her mother has changed. And where was she? She just needed a man to open her up. But the reality, I look at the reality. I've been doing this 40 years. Mostly women come into my office. I help them communicate with men at home, and those men change. Their relationships get better without the man reading the book, without the man coming into my office, because I teach women how to communicate in a different way, how to relate to themselves and to men in a different way. And what's great about this book, it's a whole new set of skills and insights that I didn't have when I wrote Men Are From Mars. Men Are From Mars is still accurate. It's just that the problems we face as men and women today are so different. In short, that problem is women are more on their male side. And what do they need a man for? Okay, so what do you really need a man for? That's part of this book, is understanding the most important thing for women today from a man is a man who is responsive to helping her come back to her female side. But in order to use a man to come back to your female side will balance your hormones very powerfully. Now, he can't do it all. You have to have a lifestyle where we talked about, where you have to schedule yourself so that you're not overwhelmed with time all the time. You have to put on the brakes. But what I found is, using the communication skills in my book, you can use a man to put the brakes on your brain. Women don't have brakes on their brain. They tend to become overwhelmed. They're busy. They're disconnected from their soul to some extent. And you can use a man to help reconnect you back to your female side. So the orientation is, stop trying to help him, use him to help you. Because women today, the more independent they are, the more help they need to get back to their female side.
So I'm taking applications to be for a guy to come and be that for me. You heard it here first.
Well, if there's any guy listening who likes these ideas, you get my book and you say, we're going to go on dates and read a chapter of this book together. It's so much fun. This is like such a great book because it gives couples opportunities to do these things. And if you're not in a relationship, it still gives you the tools for you to fill up your other bank accounts so that you're taking the time to be with yourself, to reconnect with yourself. Because we're so busy today that women are not in touch with their emotions, the deeper levels of their emotions. And that's what will help produce high levels of estrogen right away. And those are all several books from at my website.
Yes.
The most important thing, Marissa, I'll tell you at the very top, if you go to the very top, is our courses. We have a course for women only as well there. So that's a really good one. Stop working at your relationships and get your relationship working for you. So that's a 6-week course. There's Understanding Men. There's How to Get More Me Time. And then there's me giving a course on Secrets of Great Sex, because I'm giving courses all the time online at my YouTube, but that's one I don't do publicly. I just want to keep a certain level of privacy to the public with my wife. And so that's a very more personal.
Right.
But I think every couple can have fun watching that because, couples have a hard time talking about their sexual needs and what's most important to them. And it's a very, very playful R-rated book. It's not like a pornography book or something like that to get you off. It's about opening your heart to each other. Yeah. And that is a big theme in my whole work, which is what we touched on is that vulnerability when a man makes it safe for you to be yourself. That if you're, I see you as kind of like a little bird that's hurt and you don't want to get hurt. You need more time to feel safe. You need more time to feel safe. And even when you say, I don't follow any of my advice, if a little bird is hurt, if it's afraid, it will actually pretend. It pretends to be dead. It will put one wing down like it can't fly. And like, don't bother with me. I'm dead. I've seen them do that. I heard about it. And I have these birds sometimes. I see it. And so this is denying how much I do need to grow and to love and so forth. And I know you do it playfully. You're a joyful person, full of light and love.
This is what I do. Come here, go away. Come here, go away. Right. That's my bird flap.
Yeah, that's a bird flap. And it's like, take away the obligations to give because you're a giver. You're a joyful, spirited, giving person and learning how to ask. And the thing that it's terrifying for women to learn to receive, just like it's terrifying for men to take risks. Many men they rather just watch TV and sit in front of a TV and do the same thing, but to really trust that they can make a better life and so forth. So that's more the avoidant. And then you have the avoidant attachment type. You could see yourself as avoidant, but what I look at this is much deeper than just these labels on top. It's just there's fear, and you need the space and the confidence of how to receive a man rather than give so much. So you're a giver like so many women.
I don't feel like a giver, to be honest.
Oh, you are. But see, maybe you don't see yourself. I mean, you flatter me all the time. You're happy to see me. You're a bubble. You're that. And if you don't feel you're a giver, then there's a part of you that feels like I'm already asking too much. I think of me too much. And I know you do think of yourself. All women think of themselves too much. There's no question about that.
That's what the siren says. Every time a siren goes, it's the truth. So the siren just went off. No, yeah, it makes me start to wonder if I've ever really had love, and that depresses me a little bit. So it's like, I don't know, I didn't grow up with a healthy sense of love.
I understand that.
I don't see it. I didn't see it growing up. And so there's a part of me that really doesn't recognize it. So
yes, that's true. To a certain extent you do, and a certain extent you don't. There's one of my favorite songs is I Don't Know What Love Is. I don't know what love is. There's different levels of love.
Yeah.
But what happened as a child, we all feel loved at some point because we are love as children. We come into the world as love and then we lose it. Okay. And so we don't have a clarity of understanding what it's like to feel loved, to really be loved. Some people think they know, and then they get married and something happens and they go, wow, now I really feel loved. There's a place where it's not the starting out place, but as you grow
Yeah.
in love and learn to process emotions, going deep in. That's what good therapy does, helps people go deeper
Yeah.
into their emotions, where then when somebody hears you, listens to you as you share your feelings, you actually feel the love coming in. But for
Yeah.
men, this unique thing here, I don't know if we have time to keep talking. I see the
We
clock is,
don't, but I
okay.
don't care.
Oh, we can go on because you're
Yeah.
YouTube as well? Okay,
Yeah.
great. So one of the things I've learned in this book, and I explained the whole amount of dimensions that come with it, is things called mirror neurons. When I wrote Men Are From Mars, I didn't know anything about mirror neurons. This is new science and last 10 years. And we have these mirror neuron systems, which neurons are cells in the brain, and they get activated in a certain way, in a certain system, so we can feel what somebody feels. So empathy. And you have a lot of those mirror neurons. You're like right there, feeling other people, being there for other people, and a giver. And in that place of giving and enthusiasm, of caring for others, what happens, that's the opening of mirror neurons. For women, they're open most of the time. With people they know and they care about, they're going to open more. But to almost everybody, they're open. That's why you'll see more people, more women are save the earth and save the children and save these. They're feeling more empathy, and that's very important, because that is prerequisite before having a relationship with a man. Is first having a balanced relationship with other women. That's this empathy that you feel for other women. Empathy happens when you feel like somebody says, oh, my dress is too tight. Well, I'm going to have no empathy for you. I don't wear a tight dress, or my high heel shoes. Okay. Or
Yeah.
my feet are hurting.
Yeah.
My feet never hurt. So how can I have real empathy for that? Whereas when women will open up their mirror neurons when you're expressing something that they feel. They'll feel connection. So connection is a major estrogen producer and stress reducer for women, is feeling connected. For
But
men,
what
it's
if you
not.
connect with a woman and they disappoint you? And this is where I go, probably I'll admit the fear factor is when someone says, I love you, or I'm going to do something with you, or I care about you, and then their actions don't follow that.
That's right.
Then I'm like, I want to run. I'm like,
yeah, you want. That's the action. That's the action. I want to run. I want to cut it off. That's taking action based on negative emotions. That is foolishness. To take action based on negative emotions. Take action based on the movement of your spirit, your intuition. You come from a place of, I'm feeling open, clear, then make decisions. All decisions made from negative emotions makes you more like an animal. To become the human you are, to connected to the divine, you make decisions when you don't have negative emotions. All negative emotions are also illogical. If you're feeling happy and joyful and motivated, you're being logical and emotional at the same time. You're not producing stress hormones. Anytime you have negative emotions, you're in a stress state. But for you, you don't even feel the negative emotions so much. You just go, I'm out of here. Okay, I'm leaving. I can't deal with this. So when you're feeling disappointed, whether it be from a female or a man, whatever, you're feeling disappointed. So you have to take some time to analyze. Okay, I'm feeling disappointed. What's going on? What was I expecting? What's realistic? And then let yourself feel sad, because if there's disappointment, there's always sadness. Well, why am I sad? Has nothing to do with that person. I'm sad because I feel alone. I've tried so many things and it hasn't worked. And then you sink into that, and then you start to feel what it is you're wanting in your life. And then you're feeling afraid that you're never going to get it. My life is going to empty. Does anybody, do I deserve it? Now you're down to feelings of regret and feelings of shame and inadequacy. Maybe I'm not beautiful enough. Maybe I've made too many mistakes. What's wrong with me? See, this is in every human being. And people walk around like, I'm fine. I'm good. Everything's all right. I just don't want to spend time with you. I'm just not interested in that. All right. I'm just worrying about money all the time. See,
I almost made it through the whole show without you making me cry. And we are at that point. Like, what are you in my head? Yeah.
Well, you could have me with you all the time using my app, because people who've done therapy with me say it's like I'm getting a session with you when you do the app. And it's I'll say it again. The title of it. It's Mars, Venus, Heart Space. And the reason I put Mars, Venus in front of it is, as soon as I was about to launch it, because I was talking about it for 6 months before it came out, somebody else came out with Heart Space. So I had to say Mars, Venus, Heart Space, and you'll find my app.
Is it? Where's it? Where
Well,
is it
it's
again
not.
on here?
I don't think it's on my website right now. It takes
Oh,
a while
where
for
did I
things to.
find it before though?
Oh,
Oh,
I
here
don't
it
know where
is.
you
Here it
found.
is.
Oh,
Here it is. Here it is. Here it
okay.
is.
So
Oh no, is this it? No,
no.
no. I was on the right one
I know you
before.
found it before. I don't know where you found it.
Yeah, no, I found it on Mars Venus.
Oh, might be the
Yeah,
home page. Might be the
yeah,
home
it was
page.
the home page. So
If
how
you
do I
go
go
to
back to that?
click Mars Venus, if you just click wherever Mars Venus is, up at the top left.
Top left. Yeah.
A way to
I'm
get.
gonna go. All right, we'll pull it up again. But yeah, one quick question. You were talking about
Well, I was
days
going to tell you.
after.
So I wanted to tell you about mirror
Oh, okay.
neurons.
Okay.
So men, their mirror neurons don't open except in certain situations. So remember, women need connection all the time. You can't feel a man's connection unless his mirror neurons open. He can't feel your connection. He can't let your love come in without those mirror neurons opening. Now, for women, what opens your mirror neurons is when you feel emotion. Your estrogen goes up. They'll just open up right away, and you'll be able to let love in more deeply. But for men, and that's also what you're afraid of, too, to let love in more deeply, because it brings up those disappointments from childhood. Now, the other side, and you're not thinking, nobody remembers this stuff. It's all buried in us, but it's just the emotion, the charge is stored in our body. For men, the only time men's mirror neurons fully open is when a woman is very vulnerable and not blaming him. And the place where that happens the most, and where what's recorded, men's mirror neurons open the most, is making love. There it is. This is where, when a man is loving a woman and she's feeling vulnerable, letting his love in, that's when his mirror neurons open up. And when his mirror neurons open up, different parts of the brain become active than when women's mirror neurons open up. For women, it's different. We are really different. We provide this extra vitamin boost for women, so to speak, which is our devotion. Women are not going to be so devoted to you. They'll be your good friend and whatever. They can relate to you, but they're going to go back and have a man be devoted to them. And they'll be devoted in response, reciprocity. But men, when their mirror neurons open, it's not empathy. It's like 50% empathy, and it goes into something called compassion. Compassion is what a man bonds with. So the places where you can go to the top of that page, you see the title of it there. Oh, I see. I guess I don't see. I'm not up to date on my own website.
Yeah.
This is the Heart Space app, but it's not saying in there Mars Venus. To find it, you've got to go on the App Store for Mars Venus Heart Space. But it's wonderful. It's it really helps us to settle ourselves back into ourselves, and in a sense, probably one of the most powerful emotional healing techniques that many teach is the power of journaling your feelings. But what I found in journaling feelings is sometimes people get stuck on one feeling. There it is, Mars Venus Heart Space. How did you get there?
I just put in Mars Venus Heart Space.
Yeah, it will come up.
Yeah,
right?
my assistant Google helped with that.
Oh, thank you, assistant. And so the big difference here is that what men can provide is what a whole chapter in my book, this new book, Be Happy With or Without a Man. I'm also making the argument of what benefit you can get from a man and what you don't get from a man. Yeah. And one of the benefits from a man is that he can help your brain stop being overwhelmed. Okay. So women don't have breaks. What allows a woman's brain to stop ruminating? Women tend to ruminate, men don't. Okay. This is another big difference.
MSU. I go to MSU University, making shiitake up.
Well, there you have it. The essence of all of our unhappiness is we tell ourselves stories that are just not true. But we're going to defend them. But it is true. It is true. But no, it's making stuff up. It's what our brain does to make sense of crazy emotions that will come up in our lives. You know, you have a tremendous amount of love and support in your life. People love you. And what that does is it brings up these unresolved feelings, because a part of you is going to reach out and go, okay, I'm going to really open up and find love. And then immediately the stories will start showing up. Oh, and one of the stories we talked about that I really like to mention to women is we have this huge unnatural pressure by our culture to have sex on the third date. Please slow it down. Make sure a man earns his way in where you feel completely safe. You don't feel like you're obligated and you don't feel pressured. You're not doing it to please him, but it's for you. But even I hesitate when I say it's for you is because when women are more on their male side, then they get horny like men do. When you're on your female side, you don't get horny. That's just your body's making different hormones. No, this is all just pressure on the culture stressing you out. Because whenever a woman is stressed, this is so interesting. When your body is making stress hormones, she's making a lot more male hormones. And so when you're making a lot more male hormones, then you take on these attributes of men. And speaking to the men who are listening, there's so many thousands, maybe, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of men now who have, in a group called NoFab and other groups, which have given up pornography, given up having sex with themselves. They've given that up until they're in a relationship. And when they're in a relationship, it's different because different chemicals get produced when you do it with yourself versus when you do it with a partner who you love. Or different chemicals get produced when you do it with a computer, with a robot. And all those, what's missing is when you're doing it with a partner, your body who you love and you're committed to, this happens when you're in a committed relationship, your body makes, for women and men, different chemicals. And they're measurable. One of the chemicals is prolactin, and you make 500% more if it's in a personal relationship than if you do it with yourself, and then it quickly disappears. And prolactin gives you a feeling of satisfaction, completion, done. It's like, isn't it wonderful if you could eat a meal and just feel like, I don't have to have a dessert. I'm so satisfied, just with, and what the Asians will say is only eat till your stomach is 3/4 full. I notice that when I'm stressed, I want to just fill my stomach up as much as I can. Mm-hmm. Whereas if I'm not stressed, it feels so good to have some emptiness in my stomach. See, this is what we need to find, is some emptiness in our life to give us desire and motivation in the right direction.
Well, that's what I'm saying when I say my bank account is full. It's full, but not full in the sense of completion or satisfaction.
That's right. That's satisfaction. And that satisfaction for women comes with hormonal balance when their estrogen levels go to a higher level. Mm-hmm. And then to a greater level of fulfillment happens when you produce prolactin. And this hormone prolactin is for those who have built vulnerability, and then they can actually be naked together. To be naked together where you feel totally ease. I mean, I just say to my wife, I just love, it's not like I love sex. I love being naked with her, and I love being inside of her, and I love her, and she loves me inside of her. This is a oneness. It's a union. It's so heavenly. It's a spiritual experience because it's not for the pleasure. If I could just explain to people, I see all these books that I've read on sex and the videos I watch online, which are instructing people how to have better orgasms and how to have more pleasure and how to do this. It's not about the pleasure. What you have is the polarity of masculine and feminine energy coming together. It's a joining together is pleasurable. There's certainly things to do with the physical body to reflect that. Mm-hmm. But the point of the pleasure is it helps you to feel more. And when you can feel more, then you have access to feel more love in your heart and to give that love and to share that love. And that's also through talking and through touching and holding and embracing. And of course, the whole sexual experience, and never seeking to have it end. Don't be goal oriented, be love oriented, where this is really one of the only places where a man can fully feel is when he's turned on. And when he's turned on, you can look at his hormones at that time. It's the only time when his estrogen levels will be rising along with his testosterone. They rise together. And that, in a sense, is a metaphor, a biological expression of what we know as a spiritual state of the masculine and feminine coming together as one, as the opposites coming together as one, as the yin and the yang coming together in union. And that's, when you talk about yoga and those things, the word means union. It's coming together. It's a connection of the opposites. It's the harmonizing of differences, which is something that's greatly missed today. We have all this conflict and lack of connection and disconnection, and alliances are built today based upon we're different from those people. And that's how you can always create togetherness. This is what our governments have always done is let's create an enemy. And then we all are afraid and we huddle to the government. It's all an illusion. It's like the real enemy is within ourselves. That's the only one we can work on is we have control over. We have no control over others so much, but we can control that within ourselves. Yeah. And that is it's as Jung said, a famous psychologist, a psychiatrist, is the whole purpose of this whole journey is of growth, personal growth and transcendence, is to make the unconscious conscious, just to be aware of what's going on inside of ourselves, that self-awareness that we talked about in the beginning. Whereas women tend to have greater awareness of that, but they don't have enough logic at that time. And you can measure this in the brain, is that when women are going into empathy, blood flow stops from the logical part of the brain. For men, it doesn't. That's why when women are upset, we'll get very logical. We'll get optimistic. We'll start out optimistic and say, well, don't worry about that. You should do this. You could do that. Oh, Michael's sharing with us. That's a true statement. It's not about pleasure. It's about the bliss of connection. And that bliss of connection is love. That's what love is. And, you know, one of the techniques that I teach for couples, blessings to you both. Thank you, Michael, is to be able to communicate that love at that time. And one of the tools in my books is, now this one isn't in this newest book. This new book is the first in a series of 6 books that I've written for women only. The second one in this series is Why Men Fall in Love and Stay in Love. So the first one is how to love yourself and how to attract the right man in your life, or if you're in a relationship, how to bring out more of the masculine in your partner and help you become back to your feminine. You see, when you're doing yourself, if you're doing everything yourself and you're a woman and you're single, you're already making too much testosterone. You need to have a man who's devoted to you to help you, or have friends who do that, or feel a presence with a divine presence that's helping you. And this goes so underrated today. One of the major sources of estrogen in a woman's life is belief and experience of the divine. If you don't have the experience, at least you have the belief that there's a divine. But as you become more logical, you kind of go, how can I believe that if I don't experience that? That's why we have so many atheists today. It used to be that people would believe and they didn't have the experience so much. But now when you have a logical brain, you kind of go, well, this doesn't make sense, a lot of the models and so forth. But so many people can experience. It's like if you go to Michael's church, you know, everybody there is singing the praises, the hands in the air, and they're feeling the energy, you know, it's aliveness. This is all possible. In groups, it's easier to experience. But when you can experience the divine, you communicate with the divine through prayer, meditation, various tools. Then as a woman, if you have that experience, that's a major estrogen producer. Remember, anytime you feel I have support, I have help in my life, I'm not alone. If I feel I'm not alone and I have help in my life, those moments where you feel that, you get a surge of estrogen, stress levels go down, and parts of your brain wake up that give you self-assurance and confidence and support. So again, we need a holistic life. You know, we need spirit. We need to love ourselves, psychology. We need to learn to process ourselves. We need relationship skills, and we need to take time for our own happiness, time for our happiness where we're not obligated. One of the major sources of stress for women, I explain in this first book, is one is the 5 days before ovulation, and then the other one is 5 days before your period, PMS. And that's for a different reason. It's not that you don't have support in your life. It's that you're too obligated in your life. If so much depression and unhappiness, irritation, the 4 somethings that you mentioned, they come whenever you're putting others in front of yourself. And that's a major thing, is for women to learn not to, this life is you know, in public speaking, you have to realize this is your time to speak, you know, don't be such a hurry to finish, you know, this is for you. Right. Those 5 days before your period, if you're still cycling, that's
what if you're not, what if I'm ageless?
I know that.
What,
I know that.
What if you're not cycling?
Yes, if you're not cycling, but I still want to mention the cycling, and then what happens when you stop cycling. As soon as you stop cycling, what happens is your hormones will shift from making estradiol, that's one form of estrogen, to estrone. Estrone is the after menopause hormone. And it says that, see, our hormones talk to our brain, all right? When you're feeling, when your cortisol levels go down, you're feeling safe. When your cortisol levels go up, you're telling your brain you're not safe, you're in danger. And so the hormones talk to us. When my testosterone goes up, it says I'm successful. When my brain tells me I'm successful, my testosterone goes up. But if my testosterone goes up, then I feel successful. I'll give you an example for men. There's all these studies on how success creates testosterone in both men and women, but men need it more to lower their stress. But one of the highest testosterone producing activities is taking a hatchet and chopping wood. I think that's so much fun. Anyway, you're using your muscles. You're also achieving your goal. You're exerting effort, and you made a big loud noise. And now you can have a fire to survive. So
you want me to date Paul Bunyan? Is that what you're saying?
I think that'd be a good idea. Now, let me tell you about the problem with I know when you date, you're afraid of talking too much. You're probably afraid of talking too much, and you interview all the men you talk to. So last thing you want to do is interview a man. That gives him time to talk. When men talk, they're on their female side, unless they're solving problems. But you're like trying to learn about them, having them talk about themselves. Already, that will turn him off to you, and that will turn you off to him. That makes him go to his female side. You have to learn to feel safe when you're talking to a man to talk about you. This is what my book explains, is how to talk about you in a way that a man will want to listen more. That also becomes a whole topic of another book, which is in this series of 6, which is how to talk so a man will listen. But in the first book, I cover it all. It's just you get more in all the other ones.
And that's why I thought I was doing it right, because I was trying not to talk during the date. And this lady at the next table came over and said to the guy, "You talk too much."
Yeah, well, that's what women always think. You talk too much. And it's because the women they're afraid to talk. Okay, it's just.
I don't want to dominate. I want the guy.
No, it's not dominating. No, you have to realize, men, the whole point of intimacy is this is biology and this is reality. It's masculine goes into the feminine. How do you have a masculine go in? So you think I'm talking, or when you're listening, you're going into him. You're doing it backwards. What you want is for him to go into you. That means you have to be vulnerable. That means you have to share who you are, what you feel, what you think, what you believe, what's appropriate. It's a place where you have to open up. And so
when I do that, Dr. Gray, they're like, "Why are you even on this dating app? You're like successful. You should be looking for someone else who's, in that realm or on a pedestal." And I'm like,
well,
I don't know what to say.
Don't tell them you're the second Oprah. Don't give them your resume. Women go, "Oh, here's my resume." Men do not care about your resume. We're not interested in your resume. We're interested in how can I help you? How can I have significance in your life? What do I have to offer you? If I don't have anything to offer you, then they're going to feel insignificant. So what every woman can offer a man is, I need a man to talk about my day, to share my life and how good that feels, and to feel I can be naked with them eventually. You start mentally, then you get emotional, and then you get physical. But you have to be able to share your crazy with a guy before you ever let him into your body, because every woman on an emotional level, to some extent, is crazy. If you were to reveal everything you feel inside, and a lot of women don't even know the crazy inside. That's why we have this thing called therapy. People talk to their therapist. See, I know this. I've been doing this 40 years. Every woman has a crazy inside. Every man does too. Okay, but women, to experience intimacy between man and woman, is for her to reveal her vulnerable emotions. And just when I say crazy, I mean emotional being that's not logical. And not logical means is crazy. Okay, so we're being playful here with the word. But if a woman feels comfortable with that, and that's why men love women. We want to feel that we have something we can provide for you, offer to you. And so you have to open up. And what you can just say on a date, here's one thing. You could be, there's so many things. This is just one thing.
Yeah.
But don't hold back from sharing the problems of your day. Oh, today I had such a hard day. I was doing this and doing this and doing this. And then you right while you're doing that, you say, and it turned out really good. And there were rainbows at the end of the day. And I was so happy because I finally realized I shouldn't be doing this. So you kind of talk yourself into a problem and then solve it yourself in his presence. Or in the beginning stages, you talk yourself into a problem because you're filled with them. And life is problems. Come on, everybody's got them. Don't pretend like you don't. And then so you share a little bit of that, and you don't do a whole lot right away, but you share a little bit. And then you come back and say, and then I figured out I ought to do this. Or let him figure it out for you. Men love to solve your problems. And then you say, oh, that's such a good idea. That's helpful. Or you could be more honest. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. That's a good idea. You're right about that. It's like women are so afraid of being vulnerable. And that's what's ruined relationships today. It used to be the culture made you vulnerable. Culture, they didn't educate you. I'm not saying it was a good thing. I'm just saying culture made you vulnerable. Because you were pregnant. You see, when you go down when I'm in the Amazon with the Indians there, women are all totally vulnerable. They're pregnant. Most of them are pregnant or they're carrying babies around. They need protection. And you're living in this little village. There's no fences even. And there's jungle over there. And you look out there, you see these eyes in the jungle, animals, wild animals are there. You need a man. And so it's like there's a very basic primitive role, which is still here in some extent in a higher level. But women are there to notice what the problems are and then go tell the guy there's a lion out there and he'll go handle it. And when he handles it, he's quiet. See, men should not talk so much unless they're solving problems. I talk a lot when I'm teaching. Otherwise, my wife says, talk to me. I said, honey, I have nothing to say, but you can talk to me. And if you ask me a question, I always have an answer. But she basically, in the beginning, now she is my new wife of 3 years. I've trained her basically. I told her, you can say anything. You can be crazy. You can be angry. You can want to leave me. You can feel anything. I don't get upset about it. And why? This is what women can teach men. How do I know this? Because in a sense, my females and coming to me for 10 years, I've learned by understanding women. Women are like waves. If they're upset, let them be upset. Ask them more questions. Get them to talk about it. And then they're not upset about it at all. All this emotional charge, all this drama of the negative drama goes away if men don't react with trying to make her not feel what she feels. I mean, imagine a wave crashing on top of you and you're trying to push it back. You're going against the force of nature. You can't push against it. It will always come down and it won't go back up until you let it come down. She has to empty out. And many women have never had a man listen to them. And
there you go.
Well, exactly. So solution, a man doesn't listen to you. You just say to him, it feels so good talking to you. I just want to talk for 5 minutes more without any interruption and I'll get it out. And I feel so good. And a guy will go, this is weird. He doesn't want me to say anything. This is weird. And then you do it. And then when you, after the end of it, you go, wow, I feel so much better now. All of that, I let it go. He go, wow, this is even better than weird. This is a woman who feels happy and I don't have to do anything. Just stand here. And the key to this is a big deal that women do, which is a problem, is at a certain point, they want to talk about the relationship. Now, there's different stages, and then once you're married and all this stuff, talking about the relationship always just sounds to a man like you're trying to change him, you're trying to control him, he's being criticized, whatever, and he's not going to listen. So you don't need to talk about the relationship to feel connected. Women want to talk about the relationship to feel connected or to get him to change in some way. The way you get a man to change is change yourself, change your approach. Men will become better. Always more of him comes out, just like getting an erection. More of him comes out when you're vulnerable, when you're receptive, when you're open. It's such an amazing thing. You know, a lot of the new age thinkers are all talking about the power of attraction and the law of attraction and how you attract something. That's your female energy. It's your female energy is receptivity. It's positivity. It's appreciation. And it's asking for what you want. You've got to ask for what you want. It's in every religion. It's prayer. It's asking for what you want. And you put a woman in a relationship. She goes, I shouldn't have to ask. Why should I have to ask? He doesn't have to ask. He doesn't have to ask. We're different. If you want a man to do anything for you, you have to ask. Now, historically, women didn't have to ask because they wouldn't have sex with you until you did all the stuff that culture said a man has to do. So culture asked him to do it, and you got what you want. You got what you could get. You were settled with that. You're fine with that. You were never having to ask for more because he did his job. But when you complain, this is what women do, is they'll complain. That's their way of asking for more, and that never works. I mean, it's just literally like walking into a wall, like thinking it's a door. Complaining never works. Asking at the right time and in the right way without demanding is what works. And it's a science to it. And so, I can't do a whole book in a
Yeah.
couple of minutes.
Yeah,
But it's
with
the
my
art.
audio book right now.
But
It's on tape.
it is on tape. But one thing is just simply when you're in a relationship or you're dating or you're married, it's all the same thing on a certain level. A guy will say, hey, honey, what do you want to do this weekend? And she's going to say, I don't know. What do you want to do? And he'll go, well, we could go do this. And then she'll go along with that. And she's thinking, gee, we always do everything he wants. Why doesn't he care about what I want? Because you didn't tell him. You have to know what you want and you have to ask for what you want. And you don't want to be like the boss. I don't want to be dominating and whatever. I get that. So this is how you do it. He says, what do you want to do this weekend? You say, here's 3 things you pick. And you ask for the things that you want, not what he wants.
I don't have any problem with that.
I know you don't.
Like-
That's a good thing. And you kind of thought too about me. No, men want women to be about me, but you have to let me know. And it has to be within my realm of what I can provide. It's always make it a little easy for me. And then it's like building up your muscles. He can give more and more. You don't start with the big stuff. You always start with the little stuff.
Yeah. Well, I definitely have to change my profile and say, I'm looking for a man to ride my wave by going through Dr. John Gray's book chapter by chapter for the first.
That's what you want to
dates,
say. That's what you want to
for the
say.
first 10 dates.
Is that, have you heard of this book?
That's the book, the woman book, right?
That's for women only. He can read that with you. It's like that would be very complimentary.
Okay. I'm going to change it.
It's a really fun thing to do. And you have to read the book first. Yeah, see, the reason this book is for women only, one of the reasons for that, because I also explain throughout the book how to communicate these things to men. But women will often say, well, he wouldn't read the book, or he's not interested in this stuff. And many men aren't interested in this stuff. They know in the bookstore, they're not going to go to the relationship book. They're going to go to the how to make money book, because they know they have to make money if they want to have a woman. And that's true. That, get with it. Some guys go, all women just want money. What women want is a security in a relationship where they don't have to take care of themselves all the time. Not that they don't want to take care of themselves, but all the time.
Amen.
Because when you feel that you can have a man care for you and you don't have to do everything for your survival, then what happens is you make more female hormones. It's a reality. And for men, when I feel I have to do this in order to have a wife, that makes testosterone. See, women, you cut men's testosterone in half by making sex easy for men. Every teenage boys, what do I have to do to have sex? What do I have to do to have sex? Now girls are like putting it out easy. Women are still putting it out easy. And it's that feeling of what do I have to do to achieve my goal? That's what makes you a man. That's masculinity. It's not resentment. It's like, this is my choice. I have this goal. What do I have to do to achieve that goal? And then he takes action. That will then produce testosterone. Then if that goal is first, I can take care of myself. Now I have so much success, I can help take care of somebody else. That's where a boy becomes a man, is where you actually care more about her because you're already taking care of you. That's selflessness, and that's called compassion. It takes time to develop it. It's a spiritual journey for men. If you look at Tibetan Buddhism, it's all about compassion, compassion, compassion. Mm-hmm. But in the Tibetan culture, it's interesting. They say masculinity, the virtue of masculinity is compassion. And what's the virtue of femininity? Wisdom. Yeah. Wisdom, not compassion. Women don't have that much compassion. They can be heartless. I mean, their mama bear will kill you in an instant. Women have wisdom. That's the highest value. The low value of women, they're all feeling empathy and everything. Nothing wrong with that. We want to bring us to the highest level. And the highest level for women is wisdom of how to be supportive of others and be supportive of yourself. And to put that wisdom in the context of what we're talking about is how to take a diamond in the rough and make it into a diamond. Okay. How do you bring out the best in a man? You said, why are there more men like you? Well, it's because there hasn't been mothers who could bring out the best in their husbands. A boy would already have so much of this. So many men don't even know. When you mentioned, I don't even know if I really let love in. What is love? Letting it in. This is very common for boys. Men don't even know what they're missing. They don't realize that when they have sex, the reason is they're trying to feel the love in their heart and express the love in their heart. And that's what we're looking for. Because if the mother is not able to feel loved by the father, if she doesn't feel safe by the father, the mother doesn't feel safe either. So she's in a stressed state. Therefore, she's not able to give unconditional love to her son. When you love your husband, you're giving unconditional love to your son, because every little boy has dad in him. I had this male side, and to the extent that my mother was able to open her heart and receive my father, I was able to receive love as a child. And I do feel privileged because I was lucky to have that situation growing up.
And
A
if
lot
you
of people.
don't, and
What's
if you
that?
don't, and if you don't have that situation,
then what
7
you
out of
think-
10 of us didn't have it.
That's right. So
Yeah.
you're basically, so you have to create situations where you can let love in. So that's where we have maturity. We have education. We can learn how to let it in. And even for me, wow, learning how to create the safety for women to open up. I'm so grateful I could be a therapist. You know, as a therapist, I had the perfect situation where women come in to be vulnerable and they're not blaming me. And it's perfect. That's why I learned this. This is like, it brought out the best in me. And then I could go and give unconditional love to my wife by understanding what's inside of women. Most men have no clue. They just think crazy is crazy. Instead of crazy is temporary. It's just the depth of feeling. And that's what women can give to men, is depth. Most men do not have depth. They're happy to have sex with a computer. This is so shallow. They're happy just to make money and have more and have more. It's also empty if you don't have love. You know, in simple terms, one of my favorite things I've heard is, you know, it takes a man to build a house, but it takes a woman to make a home. I mean, I look at where you are, a beautiful home. This is women have life force in them. They give birth to life. We as men, ideally, our whole journey from a more spiritual point of view is to become selfless. And for women, an ironic twist is to become selfish.
Selfish.
But with that selfishness is I want to receive, but I don't ask for too much. I ask for what's available, and I always appreciate what I get. And a part of loving is also forgiveness and acceptance of who a person is. That's where that judgmental part comes in. And we talked about before is when you're afraid, sometimes you have a real fear, which is it's not time for me to open up. That's for women when they rush into too much intimacy before they've really built a lot of safety. So I always talk about for women, start mental connection, a lot of talking where he is listening more and she is sharing more. Then more emotional sharing what's in your heart, being able to reveal what's inside so you're not hiding back anything. That's a prerequisite before you open up your physical body to a man. That's just pushing it too far. If you start with the physical, you're just an animal. You start with the spirit and then bring the spirit into the mind, into the heart, into the body. That's the right direction to go. And that can take quite a while. Go slow.
The physical attraction factor and how it relates to that, because I am so male-like in that I choose with my eyes, which is how I got into the situation of choosing a man who didn't like to work and paying $2.8 million for the divorce. So how can I stop myself from that pattern of choosing only by initial physical attraction?
Yeah, well, what you've just described is very important wisdom, is recognize your patterns. When you start seeing certain patterns get negative results, then you change a pattern. For example, I know at 74 years old that if I eat ice cream, my belly gets bigger. If my belly gets bigger and I'm a man, that will lower my testosterone. So you see all these old men, their bellies are fat and their testosterone levels are low.
I call it dicky do. Have I told you this?
No, tell me more.
That's when your dicky do is when your tummy sticks out more than your dicky do.
That's right. I always feel I should be able to look down and see the whole thing. Okay, that's the flat belly. You look down, you see all your manhood. That's a nice way of looking at it.
That's part of my stand-up.
Well,
and I don't want a booby do, right? Where I see my tummy more than my booby do.
That's very good. Okay, I like it. So, but see, the whole thing about these body changes and whatever, they have a big effect on your hormones. For a man, when your belly becomes big, belly fat on a man produces estrogen. And estrogen in a man stores fat in the belly. And then you have more fat in the belly, which produces more estrogen. So you have to do things to combat that as a man as you get older, because our natural evolution is to move from our male side to our female side, but hold on to the male side if you're a more enlightened type guy. So, but your hormones do change. What we see is a norm in our society. It's not this way in the Amazon. Men don't have fat bellies in the Amazon. Okay, they're out there doing it till their last day. So what's going on is their testosterone levels stay high. Now, my testosterone levels, as somebody follows these ideas and so forth, are 50% higher than when I was a young man. They've just gone up. And it's because I take care of myself. But we're just celebrating St. Patrick's Day party last night. So for the first time this year, I gave myself permission to have ice cream and whipped cream, and then went back for a second. So I paid the price. So I suddenly have more on my belly, but I thought, okay, occasionally I'll celebrate. Okay. I'm not like a strict Spartan type guy, but it's discipline that creates testosterone. Very important thing that people today are losing. And it's vulnerability that creates estrogen in women. And I see that we're winding up. We got to finish up.
No. The siren is going.
Oh, the siren's going. Okay.
That's the truth, right?
Yeah,
you just said, for me, vulnerability. What was it that you said?
Vulnerability creates estrogen. Vulnerability creates estrogen.
The truth. So,
and you had asked before, what about all the women listening who are now producing estrone because they're no longer producing estradiol? Estradiol is when you've got eggs. When your eggs are used up, now you produce estrone. The psychological effect of estrone. And I was starting to explain that our hormones have messages, attitudes, moods that go with our hormones. Estrone gives the message of I don't need anybody. I can do it all myself. So there's not this and sort of inherent instinctive motivation to depend on a man or look to a man.
So I'm doubly screwed or not screwed.
Well, it's a challenge that all women have after menopause is they stop making estradiol. Now, estradiol, I look at you and I know you're still making lots of estradiol, by the way, because you don't have any wrinkles. When you start seeing women wrinkle up and so forth, that's a sign of estrone. They're no longer making estradiol. Estradiol keeps the skin moist. It keeps everything connected. The wrinkles go away. And so you're not so messed. I don't want to say screwed.
You heard it here. Dr. John Gray said, I'm only half screwed, not fully screwed. Okay.
So
I love playing with you, by the way.
Yeah, I do too. So how you make estradiol. And so if you went to a hormone person, they're going to say, oh, we want to give you some estradiol. And now they're saying, I don't know. I'm not a medical doctor, but they're saying that now there's not so much a negative side effect of it. Before they're saying it might increase your risk of cancer. Then they said that was all not really true. And now they're saying take estrogen, take progesterone, whatever. Okay, that's a whole nother realm. That's not mine. My realm is how your behavior and your mindset, what you say, do, act, so forth, it stimulates hormones at every age. So what you have is actually an extra benefit when you're in menopause, because when you're in menopause, you don't need a man so much. So you're not going to be afraid of losing a man so much. You're not going to be afraid of being vulnerable so much because you have this estrone, which says, without anybody, I can still do it myself. But you have to consciously maintain the wisdom of the spiritual truth that we all depend on each other. Okay. And so you have to consciously bring in that conscious awareness and do the things that a young woman would naturally do, which is put herself in situations where she's vulnerable and have somebody be there for her. So I study the chemistry of this. I know the pathways because people say, oh, there's no science that says women can make estradiol. And I don't have any studies that show, because I'm not that kind of a scientist. I just look at other research. But I do know my students in their 80s, women being multi-orgasmic. And you can't be multi-orgasmic unless you're making estradiol. You can't even have an orgasm unless you're making estradiol. Estradiol levels have to go really, really high to be multi-orgasmic. So I know how to do that to guide women. I know how to do that for my wife. I know how to do that for how to teach people to do this. And estradiol, the actual biology is to put yourself in a place of vulnerability. Choose to be vulnerable and have a man be there for you. Choose to do something dangerous and have a man help you. For example, riding on the back of a Harley will produce estradiol in a woman. You're in a dangerous situation. A man is driving, but has to be a man who drives in a way that makes you feel safe. Yes. So that's a big thing. And, I remember once being in Austin, Texas, when all the Harley people from around the country all came there. I think maybe 5,000 or something, maybe more Harleys all coming into town. This booming sound. I think women in the audience, women watching were probably having orgasms as well. To have that much danger and that much control, because these guys are sitting there on their Harleys, and the woman's in the back, and but they feel safe. They feel very safe. That they depend on their husband. That's just an example, more of a dramatic example. To me, it's learning to share your vulnerable feelings that are emerging in you, not from present time, but from your childhood. What happens as you get older, it's easier to become more aware of the unresolved issues from childhood. The more confident you are as an adult, the more mature you are, your past starts creeping up. If you don't consciously process it, then you become like a child, which is what you see a lot of people when they get old. They become like children. They lose their brains, they lose their bodies, and so forth. They're helpless. But for a woman to put herself in situations where she's vulnerable and produces the stress hormone cortisol. So you have to produce cortisol. Then you have to have somebody come rescue you, in a sense, provide for you what you need at that time. So you have to be in danger. Somebody outside yourself has to make you feel safe. And in that process of feeling safe, your body produces aromatase and converts your testosterone into estradiol. So it's testosterone converting into estradiol, but you have to have a surge of testosterone as a result of feeling stressed. So you're stressed in your life. So now you just have to find a partner that you can share the crazy feelings inside that go along with your stress and have him be present for you. And usually you have to hire a guy to do that because most guys don't know how to do that. But you can learn to do this with your partner by just saying to them, see, I have all the communication skills. You just say to them, right now, I'm going to be a little crazy for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to be sane again.
And see if he doesn't run. But I have the perfect solution for me, Dr. Gray. I'm going to get a flat tire, right? Danger, right? I'm going to have to pull over because the flat tire, and then wait for a Harley to go by with a and get on the back of his Harley. And
here's something easier than a flat tire, because then you'll have to change your flat tire. Pull over to the side of the road, put up a little sign said out of gas. And then some guy's going to pull over, and he actually has a gas can in his car for these situations, and he'll fill up your gas tank, and he'll probably fall in love with you, and you'll fall in love with him. Okay. So the reason I do that, because I once took my family on a vacation in one of those big house cars and Winnebago, and they run out of gas so fast, and we were driving into Las Vegas, and we ran out of gas. They run out so fast, and I pulled over to the side of the road, and my wife goes, "Oh, this is terrible." I said, "Don't worry, honey. I just wrote a sign. I said, need gas." Within 2 minutes, I put my sign up, and a car pulled over, and the guy had a gas can. He's one of these guys, I'm looking for somebody to help. I want to be a hero, because when you make a man a hero, he'll die for you. Okay. And these guys where every guy is looking for the opportunity to be a hero. He just doesn't know how to be there. And women don't know how to make him the hero. And so that's a good ending, because I have to now go do my YouTube talk. Yeah. People should know on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do live YouTube talks like the one we did today.
Well, I'm just so grateful. And I'm not doing that to be my whatever I am. I do love you very much. And I love the time that you give me personally, professionally. I'm so glad I told my big brother you were here, and that he's been able to also be a part of this has just like made my year. And thank you so much, Dr. John Gray, everyone. Go get his app. I'm going to get his app. I'm going to get his book. I'm going to change my profile. I'm going to get a gas sign. And I hope I see you in person sometime soon. Please thank Dr. John Gray. I'm Dr. Marissa, reporting live. Remember, it's all about balance. Remember, I do this. Could you put your fingers up? It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. Now go and have the best day ever. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Love you.